Today we're going to be talking about dimensional analysis, and what dimensional analysis is it's a way for us to use mathematics in chemistry, but we're going to talk about math all in the same pattern, okay? So dimensional analysis is the way that we're basically going to go between units. So converting between centimeters and meters, converting between inches to feet, and then maybe feet to yards. So if I start with inches, I can go all the way to yards, okay? We're going to be learning some new units over the course of the year, and so this is going to be really helpful to us once we get to a new unit called the mole. So we'll get there about halfway through the year. We're going to be learning about the mole, and in chemical reactions, we're going to really need to use our dimensional analysis skills. So for right now, we're just going to learn how to use that pattern, how to set everything up, using units we're already comfortable with, that we already know, okay? So these are going to be the steps for dimensional analysis. First thing, you're going to find the given, okay? The given is what information does the problem tell you. So when you're reading a word problem, it gives you some information. So it might say, I punted a football 15 yards, okay? How many inches did the football travel? We say, okay, the information that's given there is 15 yards, okay? That's what you start with. Second thing you need to know is, what am I looking for? In that example, what we were looking for is inches, okay? We're trying to go from 15 yards to how many inches is that, okay? So my goal unit is, where am I going to end up? You can't start the problem unless you know where you're headed. Okay? Great. Next step, writing out your conversion factors. Okay, so for us, a conversion factor that we might need to know is 1 foot equals 12 inches. Okay? So it's just a way of knowing what's equal to something else, okay, what those values are. Okay, so we write this like this with the equal sign in the middle, and then we can separate this out and write it two different ways in our problem. I'm going to show you that just so you get comfortable. When we write any equivalency like this, we can write 1 foot over 12 inches, like that, or we can show the reciprocal, 12 inches over 1 foot. And the reason we can do that is, take this, okay, 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So here, substitute in 12 inches where there's a foot. Well, then it would just be 12 inches over 12 inches, which is 1. Okay, that's why dimensional analysis works, because you're just converting units. And the numbers are there to help you convert those units, all right? So that's my conversion factors, 1 foot equals 12 inches. How about step 4? So we're going to start with the given over 1. So for this one, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to start with my problem. I think it was 15 yards we said. So my given over 1 is going to be 15 yards over 1. And then I'll put it in parentheses. First step to every dimensional analysis problem, you put your given over 1 and you'll get a point for it every single time. It's so important to start out strong. Okay? That's step 4. And then the last thing, you're going to cancel units in the numerator. So if I want to cancel out yards here, I have to put yards in the denominator here. Okay, so I need to know something that'll transfer. Let's go to our example. Example 1. I went apple picking this weekend and picked 5.3 pounds of apples. They cost 79 cents per pound. And I want to know, how much did I pay? I forgot. How much did I pay? So what I'm going to do is go through this one step by step with you, okay? So find the given. What am I looking for? Sorry. Find the given. What am I given? Well, I'm given 2 numbers here, so this one's a little bit tricky. I picked 5.3 pounds of apples, but they cost 79 cents per pound. Oh, when I see this per, that lets me know that this is a relationship. 1 pound equals this cost. Okay, so my given must be 5.3 pounds of apples. 5.3 pounds, okay? My goal unit, what am I looking for? Well, it says how much did I pay? So I'm looking for dollar bills. I'm looking for money. That's dollars. I'm going from pounds to dollars. Am I writing out my conversion factor? So that's this right here. Is I'm going to convert this into an equal sign. All right. I'm going to say 1 pound equals. Let's make that more of a 1. Equals 79 cents. Or $0.79. All right. Good. So that's my conversion factor. Remember, I can write it either way with the 1 pound on top and 79 cents on the bottom, or 79 cents on top, 1 pound at the bottom. So step 4, I'm going to start my actual problem. I'm going to put my given over 1. So my given is 5.3 pounds of apples. Put that over 1. And then number 5, to cancel out pounds in the numerator, I need to put it in the denominator of the next parentheses. So I'm going to use my unit conversion, and I'm going to put pounds in the denominator because it's in the top up here. So I'm going to have to put 1 pound down here. 1 pound. Whoop. And then 1 pound is equal to 79 cents. So I put my 79 cents in the top. So now if I look at it, I've got pounds here, so those will cancel out. And I'm left over with my unit of dollars. So if I do that calculation, I get $4.19. So I rounded that up to a 9, right? And that's how much I paid. Okay? So that's one example. Make sure you have this example down. All right? We're going to do a couple more. Example 2. How many yards are in 2.23 meters if 1 meter is 1.094 yards? So I'm going between metric units to English units. This is confusing, but I've got a unit conversion. Okay, do you guys see this unit conversion right here? This is my unit conversion, so that is helpful. And then right here, I've got my given. I'm going to label that given. You can circle it right on your worksheets. All right, and then here, how many yards? I want to know how many yards. Okay, so I'm going from meters to yards, and sometimes I draw this little road map out for myself so that I know where I'm headed. So let's start here. I'm going to put my given over 1, 2.23 meters over 1. Sorry, it's a little slanted. All right, and then I have to cancel out meters. So I have to put meters in the denominator, 1 meter. And in the numerator, I have to put 1.094 yards. So you can see 1.094 is not that much bigger than 1. Okay, but it does make a little bit of a difference. And we get how many yards? Well, my meters cancel out. So the important thing here that I need to do is I need to multiply across the top. So I need to do 2.23 times 1.094 divided by 1 divided by 1. So you multiply across the top, divide by the bottom. Again, you multiply across the top and then divide by the numbers in the bottom. All right? And what I get is an answer of 2.44 yards. And that makes sense. That's a little bit more than we started with because there's a little bit more yardage in a meter. All right, that was a good one. Let's try a tricky one now. Example 3. If you are going 50 miles per hour, that's my given. I'm going that much. How many feet per second are you traveling? So this is where I'm headed. So this one's actually a lot trickier because there are 2 units and I'm changing both of them. Okay, so if you see up here, I'm going to go from miles per hour to feet per second. So that's really important. So first I need to make a list of some conversion factors that I know. So up here, I'm going to say I know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. If you didn't know that, that's okay. You can always Google it and look it up on a data table, okay? 1 mile is 5,280 feet. I will always provide you with the unit conversions that you need, or the problem will itself, okay? Ones like the ones on the bottom, you should know. Like 1 hour is going to be 60 minutes. And you should know that, hopefully. And then 1 minute is 60 seconds. So you should know that too. So for this one, we're going to use all 3 of these conversion factors, right? One at a time. So there's going to be a lot of sets of parentheses. So let's make sure we get this straight. So I'm going to start out going 50 miles per 1 hour. That's my given, all right? And then my next step is I'm going to go from miles to feet first. Okay, so I'll put miles, need to go on the bottom. 1 mile is going to be 5,280 feet. Good, so miles cancels out miles. So now I have units. If I stop there, it would be feet per hour. So that would be feet per hour, but that's not what I want. I want feet per second, okay? Feet per second, all right? So this time, I've got hours in the denominator. So up here, I need to put hours so they cancel out. If I put hours down here, I would have feet per hour squared, right? So I don't want that. So I've got hours up here, so I put 1 hour up here, and then I put 60 minutes. I look up at my little table, 60 minutes. So I find it helpful to draw little tables like up at the top, okay, or on the side of my page, so that I know what choices do I have. So every time you do a problem, you want to look and see what choices do you have for your unit conversions, okay? So now I have hours canceling out. Now I have feet per minute, which is good, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for feet per second, okay? So let me go up here. I've got 1 minute is 60 seconds. So I've got minutes down here, so I have to put minutes in the top. 1 minute, and then in the bottom, 60 seconds. All right, so minutes cancels out with minutes, and now I have feet per second as the only units left, which is perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to multiply 50 times 5,280 divided by 60 divided by 60. So I do this. 50, that's a 0, there we go, times 5,280, that's a 0, good, all over 60 times 60. So what does that equal? I'm going to write it down here. I want you to make sure you do this in your calculator. Try it out. Okay? I got my answer of, oh, that's supposed to be a 7. D3.3. But if I just wrote 73.3, I'd be wrong. I have to write feet per second. Okay? You have to include your units. Absolutely have to every single time. And it's always nice to put a little box around it if you want to do that. Throw a little box around your answer at the end. Never hurt anybody. Okay, make that a nice good 7 for you. All right? And that's it for dimensional analysis. I want you to practice these ones. We're going to take a little bit of time to get through it. All right? Have a good night.